I'm always going for the gloam. And I'm like noticing in like cutscenes that my jewelry is really kind of standing out here, like solid gold earrings, a nice gold choker. Is that all the gloam? Maybe I should have tried these on beforehand. I mean, I think I'd still go with them. They look good. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I've received the most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? Then it's not certain? The Elder Seed Seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, I don't think I've ever heard those words. Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Menfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castromorian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing that they have to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud that, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quicken their efforts to summon their god. I am put in the mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for the Primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. All through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing the untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would have not been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seed Seer has requested your personal involvement, Old. Pray report to Commander Horlow at the adder's nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution of this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Whew. Thank goodness we're going to talk. I thought we were leading to action. Can't have that. A lot of the time I think about, like, what it would be like when this, like, expansion first came out. And, like, all the people just running along doing, like, the newly released story quests. It would just be like a giant wave of people going to have a conversation after conversation after conversation before all piling into that one fight of this particular patch. Seems like it would be fun. But right now, the conversations get a little bit dull. What do you think? Private Sugarheart, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever the cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seed Seer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave no further explanation to our learned leader. Pray, make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Come to think of it, though, because all the quests are go have a conversation with this person, they kind of avoid like a common MMO problem where they want people to experience like the newer content, so they make like the fighting super easy and dull. And Final Fantasy XIV has done that, but like since fighting is like a tenth of the missions and it's 99% story, like it's not as much as an issue. But if you go back and play something like, I don't know, Blade and Soul, like it's incredibly dull because it's a lot more combat based, and the fact that like you can just one-shot everything you see, it gets real boring real quick. Anyway, the other scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? Hello, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you doing, Zinzi? Welcome. I believe this is your first time chatting. Getting a lot of first time chatters today, actually.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Okay.
The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities.
Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy. I'll talk to you about it in a second.
Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Yep.
You have my thanks.
I do like the cabbage people. They're kind of
Pray
cute.
make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Oof. Yeah, so Final Fantasy VI. You're good. You just finished Final Fantasy VI and you love that game. It's your favorite too? Yeah. I have a problem beating a lot of JRPGs because I lose interest like halfway through. Let's see, Little Solace. I think we can teleport near there. East Shroud? The Hawthorne Hut, maybe. I'm just gonna guess. Let's see how well I know Gridania. Yeah. But yeah, like Final Fantasy VI is one of the few Final Fantasy games that I've actually beaten. The last fight is really hard. Like, you kind of have to get lucky because you're going to be playing with characters like you haven't been playing with the entire game. Like, I had Shadow with the jump boots. And Shadow, I feel like, is nobody's name. Maybe there's somebody out there who's a huge fan of ninjas. But, yeah, the jump boots went really, really insanely well. Oh, and my brother, the luckiest person on Earth, used Setzer's special ability, which is like the slot machine. And he got like the super rare all sevens, which just means you instantly win a fight. He got that on the final battle of Final Fantasy VI, so he just won for free. And I've never seen all sevens rolled in Final Fantasy VI ever, except that one time. I was like, well, dang. It was so good. Private Sugarheart, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with Primal Ramu himself, an unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask you abide here until they return with their findings. Okay. Bad Dury is dancing sprightly, but I think I saw somebody walking under the ground. I don't know if Gridania is glitched, or is this the way like hackers play? But I remember dancing sprightly around here.